Bonjour tout le monde, which means hello everyone. Tout le monde is everyone. Aujourd'hui, il fait froid. Today, it's cold. C'est pour ça que j'ai un gros pull. So I hope you're all fine. Today, I want to talk about nationalities and say where you live. So as I explained in the videos, in French, everything has a gender, even objects. Maybe that would be like the hard part to learn because there is no rule really, unless you know the etymology of the word, which is too much research. So repetition again is the key. But we're going to concentrate on people today and talk about some nationalities. So I said everything has a gender, so if it's feminine, the nationality will be feminine. There is no other rules to know that rather than to learn them, how to say your nationality. As an example, je suis Christine, je suis française. So it's important to say the last letters so that we know it's feminine. Obviously, people are going to see you, if you're a woman or a girl, they're going to see that they know that the nationality is feminine. But to say it correctly, I'm saying that you really have to stress on the last letters. Je suis française. If I were a man, I would say je suis français. So hear the difference. Je suis français, masculine. Je suis française, feminine. So now let's talk about other nationalities. Let's take English. Je suis anglais. That's for men. Je suis anglais. And now, if you're a woman, you would say je suis anglaise. So hear the difference. Anglais, masculine. Anglaise, feminine. So that's pretty much with all the nationalities. Obviously, they all differ. They don't have the same termination. So français, anglais is the same because it's the same last letters, A-I-S, and it transforms into feminine. Anglais, anglaise, français, française. Let's say you're American. If you're a man, je suis américain. Un is a sound that you don't have in English. To speak French, you need to have a cold and pinch your nose. Je suis américain. And if you're a woman, je suis américaine. So it's more open at the end. Américaine. Je suis américain, masculine. Je suis américaine, feminine. Now, if you're from Canada, je suis canadien, if you're a man. Je suis canadienne, if you're a woman. It goes the same with Italian, because that's the same termination. Italien for a man and italienne for a woman. So the difference between masculine and feminine is, maybe you hear it's the same, but it's not. Maybe it's subtle to you, but it's actually not. That's why my advice is to really stress on the feminine, if you're a woman, to stress on the last letters to understand so that it sounds correctly, at least. One thing you have to know also, which I will repeat because it's on the video already, is that the nationality equals the language. For example, if I'm a man and I say je suis français, je parle français. Je suis italien, je parle italien. See? So it's the same. Nationality for men and language, it's the same. Okay? Now, let's talk about where you live. I'm going to talk about the countries only. A video is coming up on that. But I want to mention that also countries have a gender in French. I know it's weird. But the preposition will differ. For example, if you in English you say I live in France, I live in Canada, I live in, I don't know, Belgium, I live in the Netherlands. It's the same, so it's very easy. But in French, it depends on the gender of the country, if I may say this way. For example, for the feminine countries, such as France, because we say la France. So you need to put an article in front of the countries, basically, feminine or masculine or plural. La France, okay. You would say j'habite en France. If the country is masculine, like Portugal, like Canada, we say le Canada, we say le Portugal. And if you want to say you live in Canada, you would say j'habite au Canada, because Canada is masculine. Any masculine country, and once again, there is no way to know which one is feminine or masculine. I mean, there is no, like, for now, explanation. But the best way is to learn the countries with their article, masculine or feminine, you know, le Canada, le Portugal, la France, la Belgique. So let's say I live in Belgium. It's a feminine country because it's la Belgique. And I would say j'habite en Belgique. Now let's say I live in Portugal, and Portugal is a masculine country, le Portugal, yes. J'habite au Portugal. So there you have it. Also, when countries start with a vowel like Italy or Spain, for example, in French, Italy starts with an I, and Spain in French is Espagne, and it starts with an E. So the countries starting with a vowel also are considered like a feminine country, if I may say. So just like France, j'habite en France, because it's a feminine country. Italy also would be the same. J'habite en Italie. Or if you live in Spain, j'habite en Espagne. So you have these categories. J'habite en, if it's a feminine country like France, or if it's the country starts with a vowel like Italy. If it's a masculine country, it's au. J'habite au Canada. J'habite au Portugal. Now, if it's a plural country like the United States, it's also plural in English. It's the same in France. Whether it's masculine or feminine doesn't matter because it's plural, right? Which is, we don't have, like in Spanish, they have like a plural for feminine, a plural for masculine, but in French, it's one plural for both genders. Okay. So if you live in the United States, you can say j'habite aux États-Unis. So the preposition has an X at the end, and the X marks the plural of it. And it's important to say aux États-Unis. This, when you say it with the Z between O and États-Unis, it marks the plural of it, therefore makes a correct way to say it. J'habite aux États-Unis. I'm not going to talk about it now, but if you live in the United States, I have to say, and I'm sorry to say it, that the States also have a gender for us in French. So if you need a video on that, I will create it. Let me know in the community forum if you want me to create a video on the gender of the states of the United States. So to sum up, I'm going to repeat from the beginning my name, nationality, and in which country I live. Bonjour, je suis Christine, je suis française, je parle français, j'habite en France. I invite you to do the same. Let's say you're American. Bonjour, je suis Linda, je suis américaine, je parle anglais, j'habite aux États-Unis. All right, now let's say you're from Canada. Bonjour, je suis Sarah, je suis canadienne, je parle anglais, j'habite au Canada. Now let's say you're from Spain. Bonjour, and in masculine. I'm going to switch it a little bit. Bonjour, je suis Pablo, je suis espagnol, je parle espagnol, j'habite en Espagne. So there you have it. The way to introduce yourself, it's very important to say, you know, your nationality the correct way. But also I'm making this video for you to explain that everything has a gender in French, and we have to apply it in order to speak correctly. So I'll see you for our next video and keep on practicing. Au revoir, bonne journée.